For years, I've seen men come into my office with the same concern. They don't speak directly about sex or about their prostate. They disguise it with phrases like, "Doctor, I wake up many times at night to urinate. I feel a strange pressure in my lower abdomen." Or even, "My desire just isn't the same anymore." But I know that behind those words lies something deeper. A silent fear. The fear of losing control over their body. Of watching their masculinity, that once felt certain, slowly crumble, without anyone telling them how to stop it. And here's the most alarming part. Many of these men, without realizing it, have been sabotaging their own prostate health for years. Not out of intentional ignorance, but because they were never given real information. And they do it through a habit repeated in solitude, almost automatically, learned during adolescence. Masturbation without awareness, without control, without balance. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the act itself is harmful. What can harm your prostate, especially after 60, is how you do it. The frequency. The constant stimulation without proper recovery. The pressure on a gland that, with age, becomes more vulnerable, more prone to inflammation, to hyperplasia, even to internal circulatory collapse. The prostate is not a muscle you can train like a bicep. It's a delicate gland, located at the center of your urinary and sexual system. It produces the seminal fluid that carries your sperm and is intimately connected to your hormones, your circulation, and your emotional state. Here's the critical point. When there's chronic prostatic congestion, caused by sexual stimulation without ejaculation or too frequent ejaculation without adequate rest, that gland begins to inflame silently. At first, you don't notice it. You just feel a little more tired. Your erection takes longer to appear. You urinate with less force. You wake up 2 or 3 times at night and don't know why. And then, years later, a urologist tells you that you have an enlarged prostate, or something worse. That's why I ask you this question, with all the respect in the world, and with all the medical authority I stand by. Are you helping or harming your prostate every time you masturbate? The answer doesn't lie in the act itself, but in the habits that surround it. Because it's not what you do occasionally that harms your health. It's what you repeat unconsciously, without balance, without body awareness. And that brings us to the true purpose of this video. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to give you real, practical, and science-based tools that can help you protect your prostate every single day, even after 60. Because yes, it is possible to age with a healthy, strong, and functional prostate. But it takes small daily gestures. No miracle pills. No surgery. Just habits. And the first one, although it may sound simple, can completely change your prostate health if you do it right. First habit, conscious pelvic evacuation. Don't be alarmed by the term. It has nothing to do with going to the bathroom. I'm talking about daily activation of your perineal muscles. These are the muscles surrounding the prostate, the anus, the scrotum, and the base of the penis. Many men never train them, and as a result, over the years, they lose control of their bladder, their erectile strength, and their ability to fully empty. How is it done? Very simple. Every morning, right after waking up, while still in bed, perform a perineal contraction. It's like trying to stop urination midstream. Hold the contraction for 5 seconds, then slowly release. Repeat 10 times. It'll take you less than 2 minutes. But what you're doing, without realizing it, is improving blood flow to your prostate, oxygenating the tissues, and preventing prostatic stagnation, one of the main causes of silent inflammation. This exercise, when done daily, doesn't just prevent problems. It also revitalizes your sexual response. And it prepares you for the second habit, one that many men are skeptical about at first, but that can be the difference between an inflamed prostate and a functional one. And that second habit, I'll reveal to you right now. This is something most men have never questioned. Since adolescence, ejaculation became almost an automatic reflex. a quick way to release tension, to relax, or even to fall asleep faster. But after 60, your prostate no longer responds the same way. What it once tolerated easily can now become an invisible overload. Every time you ejaculate, your prostate contracts. It releases fluid. It empties. But if you do it too frequently, without giving it time to regenerate, the gland enters a state of constant irritation. And it's not just physical. It's hormonal too. Frequent ejaculation temporarily lowers your free testosterone levels. And in older men, this can throw your entire system off balance. Less desire, less energy, reduced muscle tone, and a higher risk of prostate inflammation. The goal is not to eliminate masturbation, but to make it conscious and strategic. Some clinical studies suggest that a frequency of 1 to 2 times per week in older men can be beneficial, as long as it's supported by proper rest, anti-inflammatory nutrition, and regular exercise. And here's where many men ask me, "Doctor, aren't there studies saying that frequent ejaculation helps prevent prostate cancer?" Yes, but there's an important nuance. Those studies were done on young men with healthy prostates and active metabolisms. In men over 60, the equation changes. If there's existing inflammation, prostate enlargement, or congestion, more ejaculation can actually make things worse. That's why the key is to personalize your rhythm. Don't compare yourself to how things were in your 30s. Listen to your body. If you feel more energized, sleep better, and urinate more freely when you reduce the frequency, then that's your path. Your prostate will tell you, if you learn to listen. And that brings us to the third habit, one that has nothing to do with sex, but might be the greatest prostate protector of all. Third habit, targeted hydration and pumpkin seed tea. I know, it sounds simple, but what I'm about to tell you isn't the usual advice. It's not enough to drink more water. Most men drink only when they're already thirsty, which means their bodies are already dehydrated. A dehydrated prostate becomes stiff, congested, and vulnerable to infection. Start your day with a glass of warm water on an empty stomach. Then, add pumpkin seed infusion at least 3 times a week. Why pumpkin seeds? Because they're rich in zinc, phytosterols, and antioxidants that reduce prostate inflammation, improve semen quality, and act as a natural defense against benign prostate enlargement. How to prepare it? Take 1 tablespoon of raw seeds, crush them lightly, and boil in a cup of water for 10 minutes. Strain and drink warm, with no sugar. You can have it at night. It also helps you sleep better. Now pause and reflect. Do you really need to wait for something to go wrong before taking care of your prostate? Or could you turn these 3 habits into your silent protection routine? Pelvic exercise, conscious masturbation, and anti-inflammatory tea. 3 simple acts that could give you years of vitality, urinary freedom, and intact desire. Is it worth it? That's up to you. Share this video with someone who needs it. And tell me in the comments, which of these habits will you start today? Subscribe, because the best is yet to come, and your body deserves it.